1, 2, 3. Let's go! Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. I am currently watching Manchester United versus Arsenal. It's currently half-time. I'm going to give my reaction at half-time and at full-time. Do me a favour, hit subscribe. Yeah? Why not? Might as well, it's there, just click on it. We're trying to get ourselves up to 60k and you hitting the button allows us to do that. Let's get into it. And let's talk about this game so far. Currently it's obviously 0-0. Very cat and mouse. I'll give you my thoughts, of course, at full time and see how it changes. And at half time right now, I'll talk through the sort of lineups of what we got here and what my feelings are at half time, because often there's so much sort of bias with the final score. So you'll get the truth at half time from me, at least. Something different for a match reaction. So let's get into it. In terms of the lineups, the change for Arsenal, there were a few there. David Luiz not playing. Ceballos and Xhaka both out. El Neni started in this game. Thomas Partey getting put up against this Man United midfield, which was a diamond. Obviously, the game against Leipzig had gone very, very well. 5-0 victors. We'll get into that in a second. But Fernandes came in for Donny van der Beek at the top of the diamond. And then at the bottom of it, I think a lot of people were thinking it was going to be McTominay. But this was the interesting tactical switch that Solskjaer kind of put together here, which was kind of understandable because of the way that Arsenal attack. Actually, it was Fred who sat at the base of it, and then McTominay who played on the right-hand side of it. Pogba playing on the other side of the diamond, which he obviously did in midweek as well. And it had gone really well in midweek. For this game, there is one sentence that just sort of rings in my ears as I'm watching this game. It's from this journalist, I think it's called Nick Ames. He was saying, the problem with Man United and Arsenal, they're constantly sort of looking at the rear view mirror. They're always constantly kind of looking over their shoulder. They're constantly a little bit fearful and nervous about what the opposition are going to do. And that's what's been sort of labelled at Arteta recently. And you can understand why, because in my last reaction, the Man City game, I was like, they kind of need a plan B here. They need another way of playing. Aubamayang looks stuck out on the left-hand side. And we know how much movement the Arsenal team has. But it was all down that left-hand side. So the idea of putting McTominay there is to stop the likes of Saka. At half-time, though, I've got to say, Bukayo Saka covers some serious ground. This guy is playing in a back five when they haven't got the ball, and Man United got the ball for a certain amount of time. Starts to play on the left wing when they're attacking, and he plays almost left midfield to pick up the ball in the first place. The guy is absolutely brilliant. He's so good. And there's a lot of players in this Arsenal team now that can then play in two different positions. Getting to the game itself, I feel like there's a few midfield passengers here. I'm a big fan of Fred. I'm a big fan of McTominay. But having them both in the team, you've got to be playing against a team that is really kind of going at you, because then there are spaces for them to kind of pass around. You saw in this game so far, Fred, he's one of those players, he's kind of going, yeah, go on, I'll have it. He doesn't overly want it. McTominay's not really sure about getting it either. So then you see Pogba dropping in and try and pick up the ball. Bruno Fernandes had a completely free role in the game so far, certainly in the first half when they haven't got the ball. And that's great because you're kind of relying on him as a leader, an attacking leader for the team, which he completely is. Like, he loves that responsibility. And it helps and it hinders, because I think the problem you have is that sometimes you've got all these players really deep and you can't get the ball up the pitch. But if it's someone like Bruno Fernandes coming and picking it up, if you have got two up front, which the diamond allows you to do, you've got two people close together. And if you can get it to Rashford, then he can play it. He can be the guy who plays it, instead of playing one guy up top and two guys out wide. And it's all very isolated. And Bruno Fernandes needs to then be this shadow striker and stay really, really close to him. So Bruno Fernandes is kind of going everywhere, and on occasion it's working, but I think overall you're having midfield passengers because Fred and McTominay are kind of getting out the way, or when they are supposed to be the guy who gets the ball and quickly plays it to Bruno Fernandes, who's further up the pitch, they don't seem capable of doing that at the moment. Part of that is down to how well Arsenal are defending. Arsenal have been the better team in the first half for me, completely. They've had the better chances. Aubamayang's had a couple of good chances at the back post. Willian hit the bar. Saka, my guy, he's so good with a header, which is like... So on that right-hand side, this is where the game at the moment can be won, right? Weirdly, ironically, you've got Arsenal playing all down the left-hand side like they naturally do, but the real beauty and the real chances that they're getting are coming on the right-hand side. Willian is perfect on that right-hand side, or Bellerin as like an inverted fullback coming into that pocket it's completely worth doing, because the attacking players for Man United in that diamond are Bruno Fernandes and Pogba on that left-hand side. Both of them don't really want to track back. Both of them don't have that kind of defensive intelligence that obviously the other two have. And the other two are more concentrating with that middle area and the problems on the left-hand side. So they've been getting loads and loads of joy, Arsenal, on the right-hand side when Williams in those little pockets of space and Bellerin goes around on the overlap, getting crosses in that way, or the other way around. Bellerin pops into that space and then Williams out wide and he gets the crosses in. For Man United, their defending of these crosses has been really, really poor. And I would say to Wan-Bissaka, they're looking for Aubamayang. Just so you know, mate, like when you see Aubamayang there, get your arms either side of him. So that way you can watch the ball then and you can see him touch you either way. And you go, oh, he's going behind me or he's going in front of me. I mean, it's not for me to give Wan-Bissaka defensive tips here. It seems bizarre. But it's so obvious. They're not really looking for Lacazette. Lacazette is working his nuts off. And again, in terms of sort of centre-forward pairings, for both of them, I think it's useful to have two players a little bit closer together. And you're going to get that with Rashford and Greenwood, although a lot of times actually they are sort of sticking apart. It's Rashford who's coming to get it when Fernandes goes on on his merry way to go and try and pick up the ball. But for Arsenal, Aubamayang a lot closer inside at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if that carries on. Let's have a look at where he's picking up the ball at the moment. I think this highlights a lot, to be honest. At the moment, there he is. So he's dropping in deeper and he's dropping in a bit more central as well. On occasion, he's playing in two positions, picking up the ball on the left-hand side, but actually he's picking up the ball in the middle a lot as well, which gives all of those midfielders something to think about. Whereas when he's been sort of isolated on that left-hand side, you've seen him just struggling to get involved in the game. And Saka is so good for me that he can do both. He can actually play the ball inside and then go again. So at the moment, I've been really impressed with Arsenal. I don't want to say this sentence, but I'm going to say it anyway. It feels like it's about the two coaches at this moment in time. And because of that, Arteta's winning. I think I thought the styles would maybe not work for Arteta, but I think he's tweaked it a little bit. And I think he'll be saying, okay, yes, we are working down that left-hand side. We always do. And we've got one of our supposed centre-backs in Tierney going down and getting crosses in. But let's remember Willian in that little pocket and Bellerin, get on when you get the chance, because there's some real opportunities there. And maybe Lacazette, who is supposed to be a fox in the box, he can get on some of those crosses as well. They've been the better side. Defensively, they've been really, really strong. They've got a couple of bookings. Holding and Gabriel been booked. I would not be surprised if there is a sending off in this game, and that could change everything. Let's have a look at the substitute benches, because that's where Man United have got them, really, because they've got so much more quality. Is this one for Edinson Cavani to get him involved? Is it one for Donny van der Beek in terms of a player who's just going to actually hold their position a little bit more? And also, are they going to be brave enough to not have this sort of on-axis double pivot of Fred and McTominay? Because at the moment, for me, it's not really working. What changes would I make? I actually kind of feel like you could play just one guy there and it could be Nemanja Matic, and he's sort of strong enough on the ball to get around the press of this Arsenal press. But that would mean that Solskjaer kind of goes for it here. And I'm not sure he believes he's got the midfield that can do both, that can be both defensively really strong and completely stop them. Because like I said, they're all looking in their rear view mirror. I know the rear view mirror is there, but they're all looking over their shoulder because he's concerned about Arsenal. So if he's willing to do that, I think he probably would be. And if he does, then it'd be interesting to see how he changes it up. I think it'd be one of those two to go, or he might even take Pogba off as well. Just to mix it up, bring Bruno Fernandes in a little bit, put Edinson Cavani up top in a 3, because I can see this finishing 0-0, but I can also see Arsenal nicking it. At the moment, Arsenal are the better team. Arsenal deserve to win it, but will they? We will find out. My prediction for this game, I'm gonna say, I reckon I'm gonna go with 2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal for this game. Let's see what happens. I'll see you at full time. I bloody called it, didn't I, lads? I called it. Allcott called it. What did I say? Down the right-hand side. Pogba, defensively not the best. Get it to Bellerin. Maybe get it to Willian. Maybe those two can create something. Allcott with a prediction, half-time prediction, getting it right. Didn't get the end result right, but I did get the team winning, right? Arsenal won the game 1-0 to the Arsenal. It ends. Man United 15th in the Premier League now. Arsenal up to 8th. Massive win for them. Man United can't win at home in the Premier League at the moment. And the second half was, it was interesting. If you're an Arsenal fan, you're really, really happy. You're so, so happy with it. And I wrote down who my man of the match was. Let me know in the comments below, who is your man of the match after this game? I've got a long list of Arsenal players. I've got a couple of names from Man United. But Arsenal, they found a way. And I said it at half-time. It felt like the team that was the underdog here, which was Arsenal, they were a bit more energised in how they were playing because they were digging their teeth in, and Arteta set them up brilliantly, and it was a battle between the two coaches. And I still don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how to manage Manchester United in games where they're kind of the favourite, where they have to kind of force the issue. He doesn't manage teams to play front foot football at this moment in time, and that is a problem for them. The diamond didn't work today. It really, really didn't work today. When you play in a diamond, you need to be able to move the ball really quickly. You need to get it to players quickly, and your fullbacks need to help you as well. And I think a lot of people have been talking about this. They're nervous about the fact that the fullbacks for Man United, they're not really the kind of fullbacks that are going to work in a 4-4-2. And the way you are going to play, you're going to have to play long. And by long, I mean you need to progress the ball quickly to get through the lines when you're playing narrow. And it didn't really work. I like the way they came out in the second half. I thought Man United were much better in the second half. They knocked at the door for a lot of it. But Arsenal, the game management was really, really good. Defensively, they were brilliant. Talking about Pogba, I thought he sort of came out second half and went and got on the ball and was trying to be a bit more of a leader. And I liked what he was doing there on that left-hand side. And they were, like I say, they were kind of knocking. But Bellerin didn't have to make too many saves. In terms of controversy, I've got to say, Gabriel could have been sent off, couldn't he? Gabriel could have easily been sent off. He had a wonderful game when we look at it in hindsight. But he was booked in the first half and he kept sliding in. There's a moment on the left-hand, two moments on the left-hand side with Greenwood during the game where he could have got himself sent off. And if he had been sent off, I don't think many people would have been complaining. And who knows what happens in the game after that. For me, the way it's been going, the fact that you can't go off your feet and not win the ball and get away with it, especially as a centre-back in the positions that you're going to be making challenges. I'm surprised he stayed on the pitch. I am surprised he stayed on the pitch. That said, he also made some wonderful sliding tackles. One against Nemanja Matic, right near the end. But again, he was in the penalty box, sliding in. You know, it looks great if it works, but on another day, he could get in trouble for that. But overall, he was great. I thought the back three for Arsenal were superb. Holding did really well. Tierney's a really smart player, both forwards and backwards. A few times cutting out passes. But there's one man we've got to highlight here because this guy has really arrived on the Premier League scene. Thomas Partey. Wow. He was so good. 79 touches. The recoveries that he got. The ground duels, 13 out of 9. Let me put that in perspective for you here, guys. Because if you look at the passing stats here. So first of all, touches. How much is he sort of getting involved here? Second, after Lindelof. And, you know, look, in the last 20 minutes of the game, they're sitting back. That's why the back four for Man United have got so many touches. But after that, it's Thomas Partey, a midfielder, getting on the ball. And a lot of that was from recoveries that he created himself. Let me find those recoveries because it blew my mind. Jules 1, here you go. Jules 1. So here, the numbers in brackets here, guys, are the ones that the players won. So he won 10 out of his 14. Pass accuracy of 93%, which looks like it's above pretty much everyone, certainly the midfielders. To put it in perspective, Pogba went for 15 sort of duels and only won 4 of them. I think that's a big, you know, I think a lot of people hope for Pogba to be that box-to-box midfielder for Man United. It's not come to fruition. And the big reason for that is defensively, he lets them down. He does. He's so good on the ball. He's got great feet and you're happy with him to have the ball further up the pitch. But further back, he can cost you. And he's got the wrong side of Bellerin, who again was on that list of being a man of the match. I thought he was brilliant. Just want to show you actually his heat map there again, Thomas Partey. Look at him there, just like digging a hole, getting on the ball. And when you're playing, essentially you're playing against 4 in the midfield, you've got to have a great game and you've got to win your tackles. And I thought El Neni next to him was a fantastic soldier for him, working alongside him, had a cracking game. He won't get credit. He normally doesn't. Because he's a player that really shouldn't be there. I think a lot of people are surprised that he is there, but he is, and I thought he was great. I thought he was brilliant for them. Like I said, the back three I thought were great. Saka had a really good first half, a lot more quiet in the second half, and Bellerin as well. I thought Bellerin is just a really competent right back who you can rely on him and Tierney, and it's going to be interesting to see what Arteta does moving forward, because I think you've got so much fluidity when you've got Tierney as part of that three, which I think he generally does most of the time. Holding seems to be someone you can trust now. And Gabriel, I think there's going to be good times and bad times with him. He needs to learn he is proactive, which is great, but he does dive in, and that could cost him at some point. For Man United, I thought Maguire was good. I thought he had a really good game. And I thought Matic, when he came on, was good. But I also felt like Bruno Fernandes coming off the pitch, he's such a talisman for them. I don't know why you're really taking him off, because I think Matic actually can be, if you want to be a front foot team, if you want to play and get at them all the time, which is what Man United surely want to do with the plethora of talent that they've got, then you don't need both of those, both a McTominay and a Fred a lot of the time. If it's a hectic game, then fine. But in the game where you had sort of a mid-block from Arsenal, they were stopping the passing lanes brilliantly. There was a lot of times, I've just shown you the touches, the amount of times the back four had the ball, and it was fine for Arsenal. They were okay with it. So United sort of lacked ideas, and I think they lacked a fluency in the formation that they've got there. If you want to play that diamond, you do need to be able to kind of move it through the lines really, really quickly. And it's tough because you're in a congested space. You're not using the whole width of the pitch a lot of the time. So it's tough, and you need players who are going to move the ball quickly. Matic gets on the ball, and he does that. He's so experienced, he's so strong, he's got those long strides, so he can keep on the ball when he's under pressure there. Fred didn't look comfortable there at all. McTominay felt like a bit of a passenger for me. We weren't really getting the best out of him. And as I say, I think they hit a brick wall with Arsenal today. They were brilliant. They were really, really good. I think there's going to be games moving forward where Arsenal will have the same frustrations, where it's teams that they need to break down. There's an element, they're both kind of going through the same problems. But I feel like Arteta has got the best out of that team in this game, and Solskjaer hasn't. He hasn't been able to. And I think the reason for that is because he's still managing and he's still so concerned. I think he's quite a defensive, reactive manager, not a proactive manager at this moment in time. But the important thing is my prediction about the right-hand side work, which I'm gassed about. Let me know what you think about this game. Arsenal winning the game. I felt like they deserved it. My man of the match, I'm going to go with Thomas Partey. I thought he was absolutely unbelievable. But who was your man of the match? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about Solskjaer, Man United, this system? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. It really, really helps me out. Hit that like button as well. It really, really helps me out. And I'll see you next time.